around my story.
I am Aubrey, 22 years old. My life is very simple. My circle of friends and acquaintances is very small. The most important of them to me is Ronder, my childhood friend who I grew up with, and we bonded in everything. He always supported me and strengthened me, and of course, he was the source of my happiness. We went to all places together, and he shared everything with me. We entered the same university and stayed together since we were 15 years old. 7 years, and we had no argument or problem. And one day, he forgot his phone with me, and I saw a chat between him and a girl named Bonnie. When I asked him about her, he told me that she is just a friend. I did not believe him, so I decided to watch him to be sure. The next day, I waited in front of his house, and as soon as he went out, I followed him in my car. He got into a taxi, and suddenly the taxi stopped and a girl rode with him, and the taxi moved. I followed them and was afraid that he would notice me, but that didn't happen. They went down and entered a cafe. I stayed in my car watching from outside. He was very happy and laughed exactly as he used to laugh with me, and it was clear that they were very close to each other. I felt strange anger, so I walked quickly from the place, drove at a crazy speed, and was about to cause an accident, but I took control of the car and parked aside. After I calmed down, I returned home and began to think about what I should do. First, I had to make sure of their relationship. I decided to watch him for a longer period. The next day, I woke up and went again in front of Ronder's house. But on that day, he did not go out. She came to him. I focused a little on her. She is Bonnie. She was with us at school, which means he has been cheating on me for a long time. I was an idiot all this time, and I thought that he loved me. How? I broke down and kept crying in the car, and after that I decided that it would not be useful to keep silent about his betrayal, and I must take revenge. I went to the place we loved to go together to say goodbye to him, and then I made a revenge plan. I sent Ronder a letter as if it was a tour company, and that he had won a trip for 2. I was waiting for him to tell me about it, and then I would cancel the whole plan and all my doubts as well. But he didn't talk to me. I was preparing a car to take him from his house to the place of the trip, and in the middle of the road, when they got off at the first rest stop, I will be waiting for them. And as soon as they tried to cross the road, I drove my car at a crazy speed. I saw Ronder flying in the air and falling to the ground. I hit them, and they are now in the hospital, between life and death. Ronder is in a coma. Bonnie's spine is severely damaged, and she will suffer from half paralysis for the rest of her life. I am now hiding from the police because they know the car caused the accident, and they know it was me. I've been living 3 months with a guilty conscience. Throughout this period, I did not know what to do. Turn myself in, or try to escape from the country in any way. I really asked someone to get me a fake passport and flee to Mexico because they will be able to reach me there. Do you think I should run away from Mexico and I will forget what happened after a while? Or turn myself in and be relieved of the remorse that I have been living with for 3 months?
The Curse of Money. I am Andrew, 20 years old, and I have everything you can imagine, or even what you cannot imagine in life. I reach everything I dream of or desire. Life is very easy for me because everything has its cost. My life is a great pastime, betting on anything and everything. I have many friends who are ready to do anything I ask of them. If I tell them to kill, they will kill for money. One day I was at a party and I met a girl. It was the first time to see her in the city. Her name was Florence. She was different. She attracted me. I tried to get closer to her and talk to her. She rejected me. Andrew, who no one can say no to, and there is nothing he needs and cannot reach. A girl said no to him. The next day I saw her walking with another boy named John. I felt defeated for the first time in my life. I gathered my friends and told them that I have to get to this girl in any way. Bring this boy, John, here tomorrow night. And really, John came. I was holding a very big party. We all enjoyed it. At first, it was a party like any party. and then I offered him a lot of money to leave Florence. And the truth is that this was not the first time I did that. The strange thing is that John did not agree. He provoked me very much. And the thing that provoked me most about him was his self-confidence, despite his poverty. I looked at my friends and laughed, so they understood what I wanted. They beat John severely and then threw him in front of the nearest hospital. During the days he stayed in the hospital, I tried to get closer to Florence in another, kinder way, and began to attract her with my money and many gifts. She accepted all of them, but after John left the hospital, she returned to him, the time when I thought that she was mine. I felt that I was very foolish and was being laughed at by a girl I thought was different from any girl I knew. Florence knew well what she was doing, and John also refused the money because Florence could take much more, but no one could laugh at me before, and I can't leave what happened to pass normally. Among the gifts I gave to Florence was a yacht that I loved very much, and despite that, I gave it to her, hoping that she loves me. I thought that there was only one way to avenge myself. I made a plan and agreed with two of my friends to watch her and John so that they would know all their moves, and they heard them agreeing on celebrating Florence's birthday on the yacht. At that time, I decided that the last gift I would give her would be different from all the gifts I had given her before. I asked my friends to prepare a surprise for her on the yacht, a romantic dinner with lots of lights and candles. Each one of them thought that the other was the one who prepared the surprise. And because I needed this day to be remembered, I put cameras everywhere in the yacht. Exactly an hour after they were on the yacht and in the middle of the sea, I saw the yacht sinking. I heard their screams and saw their fear. My happiness was indescribable at the time. But this happiness did not complete when the police investigations began. They saw the cameras that were already damaged, but also the malfunction they found was very clear that it was fabricated. And for the first time, I found that money is unable to protect me or buy anything. My friends admitted that I was the one who brought them after being arrested by the police. I am now accused of 2 counts of murder and sentenced to life imprisonment. Of course, I am sad about my life that will be wasted in prison, but I do not regret what I did because they deserve to die. Do you think I am wrong that I avenged myself?
My name is Ricardo. Though I am a 21-year-old, my body is the size of a 10-year-old boy because I was born with a disease called Prader-Willi syndrome, PWS, which stunted my body growth while allowing my mind to continue developing. Most people would consider PWS to be a curse, but it was a gift for Dad and me because we took advantage of this situation. My story starts when Dad's company accused him of embezzlement and fired him. The scandal and shame of this incident kept him from getting any other type of work, so we left our country to start a new life elsewhere. Dad was still unable to get a job because his old company always gave him bad references when called by prospective new employers. Dad was worried about our future, so he improvised and came up with a scheme to turn me into the goose that laid the golden egg. You see, children always bullied me due to my small body size. Luckily, my mature mind helped me avoid fights most of the time. One day, Dad asked me if I wanted to become famous, and I said, sure. He told me that we needed a way to gain people's sympathy, and he explained his plan. We went to the garage and found some old torn clothes that he asked me to wear. Then he poured dirty water on me. Then he made a recording of me crying and explaining that I had been beaten by some bullies in our neighborhood. After we finished making our sympathy-garnering video, he applauded my performance and posted it to the internet to see what reaction we would get. The next day, our video went viral, and I became an instant celebrity. All the news agencies gave the video broad coverage, and I began receiving sympathetic phone calls and donations from around the world. Several international schools offered me free scholarships at their schools, and I managed to amass a good size of money from all the donations, and for a moment, I thought our days of poverty were finally over. Unfortunately, the authorities investigated my background and found that I was 21 years old and not really a kid at all. Then all my fortunes reversed themselves, and the police came after me for fraud. I am speaking to you now from a hotel room as I hide from the police. I have enough money to head to another country, preferably one that has no extradition treaty with my country. I have enough money to live comfortably without needing to work for the rest of my life. So, on balance, I don't have any regrets about what I've done.
Hello everyone, I'm Lauren. Did you ever wonder what it would be like to have your life completely destroyed by someone close to you? Ever thought about what you would do then? I didn't have time to think, because that's exactly what happened to me. It all started 2 years ago. I lived a quiet life with my mom and dad and my sister. I loved my family. We were always together. We were happy until that fateful day. My dad got fired from his work, a big company. He had worked there for 20 years. The only money we had then was what he had managed to save over the years. Finding a new job wasn't easy. It was a hard time for all of us, especially my dad. He was becoming desperate. At times, he just sat there, quietly, deep in thought, and I rarely saw him smile since. One late night, we were still up waiting for him when he walked through the door. But something was different. He wasn't walking straight. It was the first time in my life seeing him drunk. I decided to take matters in my own hand. I started job hunting. I was lucky enough to find something suitable at a startup company. The pay was good enough, and the more I worked, the more I earned. I was trying my best to get our life back. I was giving it all I've got. My dad started asking me for money. I was more than happy to give him what he needed. I didn't even ask what it was for. Then he started asking for more. He came late almost every night, and he was never awake in the morning. It seemed like we hadn't talked together for ages. Then, money started disappearing from my purse. I got home from work one night. It had been a long day, and I was really tired. I put my bag in my room, and I went to the kitchen to find something to eat. I made myself a sandwich, then took it back to my room. But when I got to the door, I saw a shadow moving inside. I thought everyone was asleep, so I opened the door slightly and looked inside. I couldn't believe what I saw. My dad was standing over my bag, and my wallet was in his hand. He found no money in it, so he threw it on the bed and started going through my purse. At that moment, my mom came down the stairs. She had my dad's shirt in her hands and a small pack of white powder. I looked at her face. Her eyes were filled with tears. I tried to speak, but found nothing to say. My dad came out of my room. He saw us standing there. He tore the shirt and the pack from my mom's hands. He was hysterical. He started breaking things around him. Suddenly, everything changed. My mom and I were too scared to move, but then my sister came running down the stairs. He pulled her towards him and held a knife to her throat. He threatened to kill her if we didn't give him money. Without a moment's thought, I did what he asked. Things only got worse. Nothing was ever enough. He asked for more and more money, and if I refused, he'd get violent, beating up anyone in his path. I couldn't stand by and watch, so I would just give him what he wanted, until I decided enough was enough. He barged down the stairs one evening and asked for all the money I've got. I told him we had expenses to pay, the rent, school fees, but none of it mattered to him. He asked me again for the money and threatened me if I didn't do what he asked. I refused. He hit me so hard that I crashed my head against the wall and fell to the floor, bleeding. Everything went dark. My mom took me to different hospitals, and I had to do a lot of checkups and tests, but all the doctors said the same thing, that this was it. I was sentenced to live my life in darkness, never to see the light again. Bumping my head against the wall was one of the reasons, but apparently, my psychological state played a huge role in my recovery. The doctors suggested that I'd be taken to a psychiatrist. My dad felt sorry for what he had done to me. He quit the drugs and alcohol, tried to be proper, but it was because of him that I was in this state. I didn't know if I could ever find it in myself to forgive him. I was torn inside. He was my dad, but I couldn't forget what had happened. I stopped talking shortly after, and he left, disappearing from our lives. No one knew where he was, or what he was. A year had passed, and he came home. He sounded good, kinda like how he was before. He's trying to make up for what he had done. But to me, nothing he does makes a difference anymore. kinda like how he was before. He's trying to make up for what he had done. But to me, nothing he does makes a difference anymore. I'm still in the dark. That's something I'm gonna have to live with my whole life. I can't change that. What do you think I should do?
My love betrayed me. Episode: a boy discovers his girlfriend cheating on him with his brother. I feel very upset and don't know how I did that. Let me tell you what happened to me. I mean, what happened to us. I'm Mark. My story began when I met a beautiful girl with yellow hair and a very soft and gentle voice. I met her in the motor race that I always go to, as I had no competitor in driving it. I used to take my brother Lucas with me every time I went, but he didn't like to do anything other than sit and encourage me. He used to come, clap, drink Pepsi, and go home alone. He was a strange young man. I don't know if he was introverted or crazy. He loved poetry and drawing, my exact opposite. As for me, of course I don't need to tell you. On race days, girls were around me everywhere, and I did not know how to get rid of them, screaming, following, and chasing me because I won. The winner always wins in everything, love and life. But one day, I noticed a very beautiful girl standing far away, wiping away the tears of another who lost the race. She attracted me a lot, so I decided to make a trick to make her chase me, or at least take care of me. But I had to hide from these crazy girls, and I entered the bathroom, cut off my clothes, and hit myself with 2 very hard punches. First I came out, the girls screamed, not out of joy, but they were afraid of my appearance. Charlotte was as beautiful as the stars among all the girls. She approached me and asked me about who had done this to me, and I described the boy she was standing with so she could forget him completely. I couldn't describe how she looked at this time. Her eyes sparkled, her hands shaking. She turned around in the stadium, and she didn't find him in the crowd, as if he had disappeared. Her feeling of pity for him changed became for me, and I was able to hug her when I wrapped my arms around her, as she helped me after I seemed to be dizzy. Then I was a pillion passenger in her motorcycle. We flew quickly, and when we got home, Lucas opened for us and freaked out, and he forgot the poor girl at the door. So I entered behind me, left my bag, and was about to leave. But I won't let her go, and I screamed, Lucas. And Lucas was disturbed and talking to me, but I didn't care, and was focusing on this beautiful girl who came back to me quickly as soon as I cried out of pain. Then Lucas noticed her and gave her juice and applied poultices to me. Since then, I and Charlotte became friends. Every day we hang out together, and I felt the tenderness and the kindness of her heart. I became much attached to her and loved her. She also kept bringing me presents, and we kept having dinner together, me, her, and Lucas. When we finish dinner, Lucas goes playing music and painting, and Charlotte and I enjoy watching a movie together. We had good times, couldn't be forgotten. But one evening, I went to the bathroom, and when I came back, I didn't find Charlotte. I looked for her in the whole house, and finally, I found her opening the door of Lucas's room, and watching him. I approached her and said, "What's wrong, my dear? Are you bored? Let's go out tonight if you like." She nodded her head, and we spent the whole evening dancing, loving, and laughing. The next day was my birthday, and I wanted to know whether she remembers it or not. That day, Lucas was so busy. He had a lot of calls and messages, so I thought he fell in love. I entered his room, took his mobile, and found a video of Charlotte saying that she did not want to be with me because she loved him, and she will tell me that today, as her love for me has ended. I was shocked, felt dizzy, and I felt that there was something below. It was a brown leather wallet she brought him, like the one she brought me. I opened it and found their picture in it. So I decided to kill them both, and I made them a trap. I called her and asked her to come early at night because I invited my friends to my birthday, and I asked Lucas to celebrate with me. He agreed and started to prepare the cake himself. When she came, I opened the door for her. She entered, and it was dark in the house, as if a festive atmosphere. As soon as she entered, I called Lucas and asked them to wait for me to get the juice. Because they are the two I love the most, and the two who loved me the most. And they drank the juice after I put the poison in it. After 2 sips of it, they fainted, so I tied them together with a rope. I got into the car and threw them into the lake closest to our house. I still feel that I did not take revenge for their betrayal, but I became miserable. Where are Lucas's joy and Charlotte's love? I am alone. Can you tell me how to repent? I don't know what to do.